Yeah, Meg said that this car was doing a weird thing which turned out to the left here. So it hesitates. Sluggish is what she calls it. I sure didn't feel it. I believe her though, she drives it every day, not me. That's like my truck. That spark plug was going out when basically the spark plug thread stripped out. So the damn thing blew out of the head one day. Well, leading up to it, I knew something was wrong, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and I couldn't. I didn't have any low end, and I thought vacuum leak, I thought idle air control, I thought throttle position sensor, I thought a lot of different things that it could be, but it felt different than I was used to ever feeling before. Well, turns out what it was, so I was losing compression on that cylinder because those threads were starting to strip out, and the compression was escaping around that spark plug. So, but anyway, it was. I say all that to say this. Basically, I had noticed something was a little off for a while before it got bad, and it was obvious. I knew my truck because I drove it every day, and so I knew something wasn't right. Good turn signal there, guy. And I tried to show Meg, I tried to show other people, and nobody. Everybody's like, "Oh, seems all right to me." Of course, my friends, they drive Chevys, so. Well, that's just because it's a Ford. Yeah, well. Anyway, it got real bad one morning, and I was like, something's wrong. I'm going to quit driving this, And I went to get off the freeway, and I hit the throttle. Didn't hit it hard or anything, just, normal. Accelerating to the off ramp, and a damn pop real loud, and then it just sounded like hell, just because that cylinder's just blasting free through the hole in the head. So that sucked, and that's when I figured out what it was. I went up under the hood, seen the spark plug still attached to the plug wire, and just a dangling. Picked it up, looked at the threads on the plug, and seemed fine. I didn't see any metal shavings in the threads on the plug or anything, and went to screw it back in. No dice. It just kind of felt like it was cross-threading, so I didn't want to give it too much hell, but then it kind of went free and went on in there, but it slid right back out. Never got tight. So I knew those threads on the head were toast. But that lady was looking at me crazy. But anyway, so I knew right away that I was going to have to cut new threads into the head, which scared the shit out of me. So I looked online, because I'm not the kind of person that takes a vehicle to anybody to be worked on. So I looked online to see if there were, if there was a specific tapping tool set to tap those threads back out and then put an insert in. And sure enough, there is. And the toolkit to do it was like $250 to $300, which I've been a mechanic. I know that tools are expensive, especially a specialty tool like that. It's built specifically for a Ford Triton V8. So I mean, they got to charge a decent amount of money to make anything off machining this very specific tool. So I thought about buying it, but I didn't want to screw anything up and get in there and fuck it up worse, having spent $300 on a tool. screw it up worse, and then still have to spend, you know, maybe more on a tool or more on a mechanic to come and fix my screw up. So I called a couple mechanics, and there's a real nice guy at one of the Ford dealerships here in town that said they could knock it out for, you know, a huge ballparking, but he said less than $600. And I thought, well, that's double what the tool cost. So, you know, that it didn't seem like a terrible idea to me. You know, I figured I'd spend half that anyway, and, you know, probably an entire afternoon to do it my damn self, and still risk screwing it up and spending $600 anyway. So I felt okay about it. I don't like spending that much money, but whatever. So I took it to them, and actually, luckily, he ended up being able to do it, I think, for just over $500. It wasn't much. It was $520, I think. And yeah, did a great job. Truck runs great now. Now I've got an injector going out, not on the same cylinder. That was my first thought. Was, well, crap, they left some metal shavings in there, or they buggered something up with my injector when they're in there tapping out that head. But now it's on a different cylinder, so gotta put a new set of injectors in there. That I can do myself. They're only about $250 for the set. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna run into O'Reilly, so I'm not sitting in the parking lot talking like an idiot to myself. All right, my new battery. I forget on that battery for the Volkswagen. It's a 74 Beetle, and the batteries, or if you've never worked on one of them, the battery's under the back seat instead of in the engine compartment or in the front, or, you know, wherever they usually are on other vehicles. It's underneath the back seat. So, you know, I pulled that battery out. I was like, God, golly, we've only had that car a couple of years, and I was like, this battery looks brand new. Like he just replaced it right before we bought it from him or something. But looking at it just now, getting a new one, it's from 09, so, you know, almost 6 years out of a battery. That ain't terrible. You know, it's about average, I think. So, yeah, but the point is, you know, it looks so clean because it's not in the engine compartment like most cars with batteries are. You know, you normally, you got a car battery sitting next to the engine, getting oil and grease and soot and everything else, road grime that comes up through the, you know, through underneath and everything, just ends up being filthy pretty quickly. But this battery had been in there for 6 years, looked like it was brand new. So just something I noticed, something to think about. Now they got the construction all screwing this up. Alright, let's turn it up here. I like this guy. He's kind of, I guess what you would call a little mom and pop kind of shop, but he's a pretty decent guy. And this is handicap, and I don't see anywhere else to park, so I'm just gonna park right here. Yeah, he's a pretty decent guy. See if I can knock out my inspection real quick on this. All right.